Hello, this is Non-Monogamous Mark coming to you with another episode of YouTube Live. And this is the third episode in a week that I have done. The first two, well, it was a learning lesson. You know, it's like all things in life. If you ever failed at something and then you just had to persevere and keep trying and you finally get it right. Well, this week will be the first week that we get it right because the last 2 weeks there was just no audio. And had to figure that out. Thought I had figured it out after the first week, but apparently not. And so tried it again last week and didn't get it figured out, but we got it figured out now. And so I'm sure that you're able to hear me now. But we're going to be talking tonight about what is the difference between places that you can go to for a nudist or places you can go to for a naturist and places you can go to that are clothing optional. Have you ever been to a clothing optional place or a nudist place or a naturalist place? You know, this is the first part of June, and we just finished May, and in Seattle, where I live part of the time in Seattle, and I live part-time in Ventura, California. But it's the month of May. They have just finished here in Seattle. It's been the warmest May on record. We've been keeping records apparently for 120 years for Seattle weather, but it was the warmest May on record. So that was really delightful because I went from the middle of the month, I went from being in California, Ventura, California, where I just always so much enjoy the so warm, sunny weather there, to coming back to Seattle, which is where I grew up. And before moving to sunny California, you know, I really just never really knew how much I was missing out on. And now oftentimes I just dread coming back to Seattle knowing it's going to be raining and wet and cold. But come back this time in the month of May, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. Well, we're just kind of getting started here with this video to see who's going to pop on and join us. And be talking about, you know, what is the difference between a place that you go to for a nudist, and what is the difference for a place for naturalists, or is there a difference? And what does it mean to be a nudist, or what does it mean to be a naturalist? And how about going to a place that's clothing optional? Now, I just attended Friday night. I went to a party, a swingers party, and had a great time. And one of the things that got into a conversation with someone about is the fact that the very first experience that I ever had as a nude experience was at a place in Palm Springs, California called Terracotta. And it was a small, quaint, kind of a boutique hotel type place with a very nice grounds. I think there was only like about 20 or 25 rooms there. And then the whole place was kind of like had a very high concrete wall or fence around the place. And right in the heart of Palm Springs. And they were just well known for being a place for a lot of first-time nudists. And it was a very comfortable place for people to go and experience nudism, and for the first time. And my wife at that time, she and she's passed away now, but she and I had talked for many years, you know, probably better than 20 years, about nudism. I mean, in the home, I was generally naked when I was warm enough in the home, when I could be naked in the home, and always slept naked. But you know, I always wanted to have that nude experience where hanging out with other people that were nude, but oh my gosh, to do that as a Christian, that was almost like a no-no. But you know, I was always kind of someone who I guess had a lot of no thoughts. But so anyway, one of the things that I found is that, and I don't know who joined us, but welcome. It shows here that someone has joined us. So welcome to this live stream YouTube. And we're talking about difference between a nudist and a naturist, and difference between places you might go that are clothing optional. But so anyway, there in Palm Springs was this place called Terracotta Inn. And it had been around for a long time and been well known to be, and a lot of magazines have written it up about how the Terracotta Inn, if you're a first-time nudist, is just a really ideal place to go. And so one trip to Palm Springs, my wife and I, we enjoyed going to Palm Springs and vacationing there. And so one trip to Palm Springs, we said, let's go ahead and go to Terracotta for the day. You can stay there in the hotel. Like they had about 20 rooms or something like that. And or you could also go in and pay a fee to go in as a person just on a day pass and just kind of lay around in the pool or around the exterior of the pool, or go in the pool or go in the hot tub. Well, then every afternoon, I think it was 4 o'clock at that time or something like that, that every afternoon they had cheese and wine over in the hot tub. Well, as soon as I got there, I got naked. And so I was just really enjoying being naked. And my wife, on the other hand, she was a little more nervous about the occasion. And so she stayed clothed. And we lounged around the pool and read all afternoon. And then at 4 o'clock, when they announced that they got cheese and wine and hors d'oeuvres and things like that over at the hot tub, then I went ahead and headed over to the hot tub. It was a large hot tub, and there was probably, I'm going to guess that there was at least 25 people there in the hot tub. But yet the conversation between the 25 people was wonderful. It was delightful and lively. Getting to know people, finding out about their professions, and gosh, is this their first experience? Are they a longtime nudist? What brought them to Terracotta at Palm Springs, and these kinds of things. And we all had just such a great time. That one of the things that I remember, my wife, she did not join us in the hot tub because one of the requirements for being in the hot tub was that you must be nude in the hot tub. You could be everywhere else there at Terracotta was clothing optional. And clothing optional means that you don't have to be naked. You can wear whatever clothes you want. Well, my wife, though, she did not want, she was not quite ready to be naked. And so she just stayed around the pool, and I went on over to the hot tub. Well, later, on our way back to Seattle from that trip, she says, next time we go to Palm Springs, I want to go back there to Terracotta, and I want to get naked next time. And that really did surprise me coming from her. And but she just felt like she missed out on a lot of the enjoyment and the fun of being nude socially, and particularly being there in the hot tub with other people and enjoying that experience. And so she felt that she just really missed out on some enjoyment in her life by having to hold back and be just so reserved and just not sure how comfortable she was. But isn't that how it is oftentimes with our life? There's so much that we just stay bottled up with our lives, our sexuality and our, nakedness, and even things that we talk about, and just being our natural selves. We just kind of bottle ourselves up so much of the time. And so that was her first, I think, kind of experience where she started to realize that she had lived a bottled up life. And of course I had too. Very religious life, but we're trying to take and try some new things out. This was before we had become non-monogamous. And then after we went there to Terracotta, we came back to Seattle, and I said that I want to try out some of the local nudist places. And so we went to a place called Lake Bronson. It's not in the Seattle area. It's actually about 2 hours from where I live, 2.5 hours, in fact. But a place called Lake Bronson here in Washington State, and it was just a wonderful, beautiful place to go. And the fact that it was 2.5 hours away, and at that time, the gas price was almost $6 a gallon, so it was quite an adventure just to go there for the day. And then one of the things that were there at Lake Bronson, the people, though, they're all so warm and so friendly. They have people that take their RVs up, their motorhomes and their trailers, and they rent a site for the year, and they just leave their RV parked there. In fact, we met a pastor and his wife. They were from Oregon. And they said that, yes, they're just too embarrassed to be thought and seen by anybody that might know them as particularly being a pastor. And so they decided that they enjoyed the nude lifestyle, but they couldn't be a nudist in their own state. And so they came to Oregon, or from Oregon, and they came to Washington in order to be at this particular club that was kind of up in the mountains. And they figured that certainly no one would ever know them up there. And so that was quite an experience talking to that pastor. But then people that were there in their motorhomes. I remember that we went walking around, and we were given a tour, a guided tour. And people would just come out of their motorhomes just totally naked, and just greet us and be so friendly. And it was just a wonderful experience. And find that nudists, when you go places, that the nudists are typically a lot friendlier people. But it does make a difference as to the club you go to. We've also had experience with another club here that's much closer, about a half hour from where I live here in Seattle. And that's Fraternity Snoqualmie. And it's a beautiful club. We've been there a number of times. But some of the people do tend to be very friendly, and some of the people tend to be a little on the snooty side, actually. And I know that one of the times that my partner Kat and I were there, and we got to chatting with a couple, and everything was very friendly and very enjoyable and open. We're all there naked, just chatting away, and then suddenly we mentioned that we're non-monogamous, and boy, at that point, as soon as we said that, the gentleman, he just told his girlfriend, says, "Well, honey, we gotta pack up and go back to the they lived in a trailer actually there on the property. A number of people did, and so we got to go back to the trailer." And he was very abrupt, and it was like he suddenly felt threatened, although we weren't hitting on them or anything. But it was almost as soon as we mentioned that we were non-monogamous, and he suddenly was like he thought that we were going to take his girlfriend from him or something. I don't know. But I think that it probably had some real security issues to deal with for himself, because his girlfriend seemed to be perfectly comfortable with us being non-monogamous. But no, he kind of kept pulling at her to pull her away, and it just took him a few minutes to manage that and getting very insistent, and they went ahead and did that. But so, as far as the question that we're asking here, and that is the difference between a place for a nudist and a place for a naturist, and also clothing optional. Well, it's important that if you're going to go someplace, it's important that you kind of really do know and understand what the boundaries are and what the limitations are. So make sure that when you get there, that you ask around, and also before you go, that you will maybe pull up a website and you'll kind of know what the parameters are. So for instance, a place that is clothing optional, then that generally means that you can wear clothes. But a place that is a nudist place, then that doesn't mean you can't wear clothes. It doesn't mean you have to be naked. It's just hard to know unless you find out. So, for instance, like I mentioned, at the Terracotta Inn in Palm Springs, which the Terracotta Inn, then the last time I'd been to Palm Springs, they had sold the Terracotta Inn, and so it was no longer in business. But the people who had ran the Terracotta Inn and owned the Terracotta Inn for, I guess, over 20 years, we all thought that they'd retired. But I heard the swingers party I was at on Friday night that apparently the owners got tired of retirement life, and so they have come back to Palm Springs and opened up a new Terracotta Inn, different location. And so that'll be kind of an exciting stop for me to go and visit on my next trip to Palm Springs. But so anyway, they've opened up and that is a clothing optional facility. And so a clothing optional facility means that it's totally optional. But although they're also in that particular facility, it's totally optional to wear clothes or to be naked, except in the hot tub. And if you're going to go in the hot tub, then you've got to be naked. And so that's one of the requirements there. Now, at Lake Bronson, and my second experience, that is a nudist resort, and while clothing is optional, it is highly frowned upon, and they really prefer that you're out there enjoying the fact of being naked. And it's, like I said, it's up in the mountains, up in the woods. There's trees all around, and Lake Bronson is an actual lake, and so there's a lake there. And so along the lakeside, that's the only place though that they do require you to be nude. Is at least when I was there last, things changed. So again, check and make sure that you're up on the latest information. But a number of years ago, when I was there, probably about 5 years ago now, since I've been there. But when you went past this one little entrance where you know you're going onto the beach at the lake, then at that point you have to be nude, and so that's Lake Bronson. Now, Fraternity Snoqualmie, that's a nude resort, or not a resort, but a nude club. That's it, a nude club, nudist club, and a beautiful location that they have there. They have an event there once a year in August, the last weekend of August, called Nude Stock. A lot of fun. They have a stage where they have live bands that go on just all day for the full weekend, starting, I believe, on Saturday morning, and goes all day on Saturday, and then all day on Sunday as well. And been a couple of years since I've been there, so again, check their website for Snoqualmie Fraternity, or Fraternity Snoqualmie. I think they've changed their name now as well, but if you just Google that for Washington State or Seattle Fraternity Snoqualmie, you'll find the new name will come up as well. But so Nude Stock was a clothing optional event, and that's how I was able to actually get some of the people that I've taken there over the years that were not nudists, because I consider myself to be a nudist, and I have no problem with being nude. But yeah, people that just have never been exposed to that before, that they are more comfortable going somewhere where they know that they don't have to get naked. So there at Fraternity Snoqualmie, though, they have a rule that basically you get 3 visits, and after your 3rd visit, you have to have gotten nude either on or before your 3rd visit if you want to come back again. Otherwise, you just simply cannot come back again if you haven't gotten nude or gotten naked. And so there's requirements, a lot of different requirements, a lot of different places. Now, what is the difference between a nudist and a naturist? A lot of times it's just semantics. So there are some people, it's like, what's the difference between polyamory and a swinger? Some people will blur the lines and say that, well, they're really the same. There are other people that will say they're not the same at all. And so it's some people, it's just a matter of semantics that they are one and the same. But with polyamory and swinging, polyamory is where you're open emotionally and sexually available. Swinging is where you're only available sexually. You're not available emotionally to other partners. And so that's kind of one fine difference there. And then there are people, that's why we call our association Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association. And I no longer consider myself polyamorous because for many years, what I practiced was polyamory. But I enjoy going out swinging. And so I consider myself a non-monogamous, an ethically and consensually non-monogamous person. And because I enjoy a wide variety, why be pigeonholed into just one element of the non-monogamous lifestyle instead of being able to be free to enjoy it all, And so the same thing with being a nudist and a naturist. Being a nudist and a naturist, some people will say that it's the same thing, and other people will say, oh, no, they're not the same thing. Oftentimes people think of nudists, it's just simply people who just like to be naked. But then a naturist is thought to be someone who takes on more of the spiritual vibe of being naked. And it's kind of like I have switched my diet to being a whole food, plant-based diet in the last 6 months. Well, actually a little over 6 months, about 9 months ago. The thing is, though, that some people say, well, isn't that the same as being a vegan? Well, no, it's not the same as being a vegan, because being a vegan is taking on the concepts and the ideas of being politically involved and animal rights and things of this nature, and just like this whole the philosophy is just wrong to eat meat. Well, I don't agree necessarily with all of that, and so therefore I don't consider myself to be a vegan. I consider myself to have a whole food plant-based diet, even though most people consider that to be a vegan diet. And but so being a vegan takes on other elements. So same thing with being a a naturalist. And I'm going to read something here that I pulled off of the internet, and it says that the International Naturist Federation defines naturism as a way of life in harmony with nature characterized by the practice of communal nudity with the intention of encouraging self-respect, respect for others, and for the environment. And so it goes on to say that naturalists are generally considered to be that naturalists are generally considered to be a little more spiritual. They're in tune with the land and the whole thing of of communing with nature. And so whereas nudists is just like, oh yeah, well, nudists, they just like to be naked. And so that's kind of a fine line, if you ask me. But for some people, that is a very important fine line. And so you don't want to go out there and talking and getting in some uproar of an argument or something about, well, naturalists and nudists are all the same, and sure. And you go and you do a lot of research on the internet, and you'll come with a complete conclusion that yes, in actuality, they really are the same. However, there are those who are purists out there, and the purists will simply tell you that no, they are not the same, because a naturist is much more into the spiritual and the nature end of being naked, whereas a nudist is much more into I guess the social aspects of being naked, or the private aspects of being naked. And that there are different kinds of nudists. There are home nudists, and there are individual nudists. There are family nudists. There are social nudists. There are club nudists, that people that will go to a club and they'll be very comfortable being naked, but they wouldn't go to somewhere that was maybe like I go in California to this beach where it's open to everybody. And I love to get naked on the beach, whereas the majority of people that are there aren't naked most of the time. And so it's just that I really enjoy being naked, and I don't really care whether there are people that don't want to get naked or not. Now, certainly one of the aspects of being a nudist that I'll enjoy, that I confess to enjoying, is that I really do enjoy seeing other naked bodies, and so it's like some people, they feel like that, well, nature or nudism and naturism is just all natural, it's normal, and there's really nothing to make a big deal out of it. But yet, you'll know when you see people that there are people that truly do enjoy the visual aspect of the naked body. And what's not to like? And even people that are, old, or people who are heavy set, or people who have, droopy skin and droopy breasts for women, and big fat guys, and, just enjoy being around naked people. It really is a very healthy and enjoyable activity. And so I'm hoping that this video will encourage some of you, if you've not taken that step. Summer is coming along strong here, and I'd really encourage you to find someplace this summer. If you've never taken that step, find someplace this summer that you can go and be socially and naked in public, and whether that be going out skinny dipping at some place where you go out with a bunch of friends and say, hey, we're going to go skinny dipping. Or like there's a organization I belong to in California. It's called the Southern California Naturist Association. They have yoga, naked yoga. They have naked pool parties. They've got naked trips to the beach. They've got naked bowling, where they rent out a whole bowling alley, and then they sponsor this naked bowling event. and they do that a couple times a year. And so there's lots of different opportunities for you out there. If you're not sure how to get hooked into any kind of opportunity for you, then please leave a comment in the comments and let me know, and I'll do what I can to help you out, because I really encourage you to just make it your goal this summer to go out there and go through that. Yes, at first it's kind of like go through that discomfort of the first time being naked, and whether you're a man or a woman, there's so many different questions that come to play. If you're a young woman, that is like, oh, it's going to be creepy having people stare at me, and just get over it. And see, that's the thing, is that with getting out there and being naked, you just got to get over it. You got to get over yourself. You got to get over other people. And you just got to allow yourself to enjoy the freedom and experience the freedom and the liberation of enjoying the nakedness of your body and enjoying the nakedness of other people's bodies. And so, get out there this summer and just get over yourself. And get past that discomfort, and there's always the, so again, women are going to say, well, it's just going to be creepy having guys look at me, and it's like, take pride in your body, whether it's a body that is toned and fit and tight, or whether it's a body that is overweight. Well, and you can do some research about, what body types go out and get nude in public, social nudism. And you'll find that one of the elements that a lot of people get involved in social nudity is for one of the reasons is to get over their self-image problems. Because yes, maybe they don't have a perfect body, or maybe they got a body that's far from perfect. Well, more socially nude you become, more involved you become in social nudity, then the more that starts to tune up your trajectory about how you feel about yourself and how you want to feel about yourself, so that you start to take more responsibility and be more aware of how you look, and maybe tone up your body a little bit and lose a little bit of weight, or start getting some exercise and start living a more active lifestyle. And so, that can't hurt, right? And so, one of the things is that you'll find that you can actually help your self-image, help how you feel about yourself, give yourself a boost with having some social nudity experiences. Personally, I wish I had a lot more time to go out and be nude socially and just hang out naked with people, whether it be going out to people's homes and hang out naked in their home with them, or there'd be going out camping and going naked camping and hanging out around the campsite naked, or if you want to take and go to a club, there's a lot of indoor clubs, that you can go and be naked at. Now, here's another thing, is that, like for instance, the Southern California Naturist Association, they are an accredited nudist association. And a lot of your resorts, like the two resorts that I mentioned, places that I mentioned, the here in Washington State, Lake Bronson and the Fraternity Squamish, they take a strong line that nudity does not involve sexuality, and any sexuality goes on behind closed doors and things of that nature. And so they take a real stern stand on that. Now, there are other places, like in California, we got numerous places, Freedom Acres and other places where you can go and you can be naked and enjoy having sex out on the lawn, naked, in front of everybody. It's just no big deal. And so there are places in Washington State and the area of Shelton. The name of the place doesn't come to mind right now, but there's a place in Washington State around the area of Shelton that's what it's all about. It's just a place where you can hang out and be naked, and you can meet other people that are naked, and you can meet other people, and you can have sex with other people out in the open, and you can just have sex with you and your partner out in the open as well, if that's what you want. But it's the whole idea of just allowing yourself to get over your hang-ups and get over yourself and your discomforts, and allow yourself to live a better life by being free and liberated. And so get out this summer and give yourself the opportunity as many times as you can to have some socially nude experiences. Maybe just try to talk more about it with people that you know. And you might find that there are other people that you know that they're home nudists, or go on to join a site like FetLife, and they have groups on FetLife for home nudists and other nudist groups and what have you. And just make it a point of getting together with some other nudists and just enjoy getting over yourself. And if you're already have had that experience, then just get out and be naked as often as you can. So thanks a lot for paying attention to this video, and I want to tell you now a little bit about the association that I am the co-founder of and also the executive director of. That's an association called Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association, and it's for people who are curious about, who are interested in, who are transitioning to, people who want to explore and experience, or people who are already living a sexually liberated, ethically and consensually non-monogamous lifestyle. And so if you want to know more about the association, then there's a link here at the bottom of the video, or in the description, at the top of the description box, to get a chance to get on our newsletter or email list. And now that link will work, but it will send you to our site where you can get on our email. That we're about a week away yet from getting that fixed because it's been broken. And you'll know that if you get subscribed to our email list, that you'll know everything's worked fine, because you will get an email sent to you right away that'll ask you to confirm that you want to receive emails to keep up to date with Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association. And so if you don't get one of those emails, then you haven't gotten a confirmation, or our system is still broken. So just try another week, and you'll always have another opportunity. But particularly if you go ahead and follow me here on the channel by liking the channel and becoming a subscriber, liking the video, but also make sure you become a subscriber. I think, in fact, if you subscribe now, you might be our 100th subscriber. Right now we are at 99 as I make this video, and so if you are next, then you're going to be our 100th subscriber, and that's going to be a celebration for us. So thank you if you are that 100th subscriber. So thanks a lot, and enjoy your week, and enjoy a naked week.